This Father's Day, while many of us are spending the day with family in the U.S., many fathers have watched helplessly as their children have been taken away from them under Donald Trump's new zero-tolerance immigration policy. This picture of a little girl being separated from her parents has galvanized opposition. With people in Trump's base outraged too, could this policy pose the biggest threat yet to Trump's presidency? Protests across the country are ramping up.
We are going to let this administration know, Trump administration know, that we are not going anywhere.
Families united will never be divided.
Migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. have typically only been written up with a misdemeanor. They are now being criminally prosecuted, their children taken away and classified as unaccompanied minors. Nearly 2,000 kids have been separated from their parents in just 6 weeks, according to the U.S. government. There's been so many that the government has now erected a tent city near El Paso, Texas. Many others have been put in shelters like this one. Some are calling them detention camps. This converted Walmart now houses hundreds of boys. And it's not just boys. There are other shelters housing girls, too. Even brothers and sisters have been split apart here. So outrage has been growing all week, prompting this moment in a White House press briefing on Thursday.
Don't you have any empathy?
Jill, go ahead.
Come on, Sarah, you're a parent. Don't you have any empathy for what these people are going through?
Jill.
They have less than
Brian,
you do.
guys,
Sarah, come on,
settle down.
These people have nothing. They come to the border with nothing. You're a parent of young children. Don't you have any empathy for what they go through?
There's no law mandating the separation of families. It's being billed as an extra deterrent to illegal immigration. Trump's Attorney General Jeff Sessions has been very clear.
If you're smuggling a child, then we're going to prosecute you. And that child will be separated from you, probably, as required by law. If you don't want your child to be separated, then don't bring them across the border illegally.
The Texas Civil Rights Project is working with some of these families. It's interviewed more than 200 parents whose children are in federal custody. Natalia Cornelio is the Director of Criminal Justice Reform at the project, and she joins us from Denver, Colorado. So can you give us an idea of the stories that you're hearing? I know you can't go into details about what's happening or name these people, but can you tell us what you're hearing?
I think that the most striking thing about speaking to a parent that has been separated from their child is that they are desperate for help and they are largely in tears. And we don't have a long time to talk to the parents when we are able to talk to them, but they are distraught. A lot of them speak for their children too and express their concern for how the child is affected by this separation. And I think that one of the things that is really important in this story is an understanding that this is a problem, a human rights problem and violation for not just the parents, but these children.
I'm trying to imagine what that would be like as a child or as a parent. What is it like? Give us an idea of what you're hearing.
I know that some of the parents we've spoken to have described medical conditions that their children have, and they have a very protective relationship with their children because of it. One child suffers from brain damage, and the parent that we spoke to from that child was really concerned about what it would be like to be that child separated from her. One of the first parents that we spoke to, his son is deaf in one ear and gets frequent nosebleeds. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what it's like for that child who can't hear from one ear, has medical problems.
We've read that some parents are told we're just taking your kids to give them a change of clothes or a bath, and that they're shocked that then they don't see the child again. Are you hearing stories like that?
Yeah, and one of the first parents that we spoke to, he was told, you'll see your child tomorrow, when the child was taken from him, and he was like, what's going on? And tomorrow came and he did not see his child. We know for a fact that two of the people that we met with back in May on the 24th still have not been reunited with their children.
When do the parents get their kids back, or do they? Like, what happens now?
So we don't know. And the policy is new enough that some of the parents have been reunited, and a lot of the parents that we've spoken to, that we've tracked down to figure out where they're located and whether it's possible for their child to be with them, have been reunited. And the answer is that a lot of parents are not with their children since they've been separated from them.
The Trump administration is doing this as a deterrent to stop illegal immigration. Do you think it'll work, that the message will get through? You'll lose your kids, so don't even try?
I don't know that it'll be as effective as they want it to, but I think that we really have to think heavily about, if it does work, is it worth it to do this to people and kids? Because that's on our consciousness to think about the experience of these children who are absolutely innocent in all of this, and weigh whether it's really worth it, whether the punishment fits the crime or the policy fits the objective. And I think a lot of Americans would say that it doesn't. And I certainly hope that they would, because that's the right thing to do.
Natalia Cornelio, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.